my good people. So anyone who knows me in class knows that I like theory. I kind of like all the theoretical stuff, the way that people speak about the world and interpret the world. But it wasn't always like that. After first year, I missed keeping my entrance scholarship by about this much. Some people might say that's revenge for taking Mandarin, but I stand by that decision. Anyway, I was like, oh man, I just lost my scholarship, what am I going to do? And I decided to basically go and look up everything that I did not get during the school year. And the first thing I looked for was Jacques Derrida and Deconstruction, because I did not understand that at all. So if you're in a similar boat and you have no idea who Jacques Derrida was or what he stood for, I'm here to help. This is my Humanities study guide for Jacques Derrida. Originally, Humanities study guide was going to be called Guides for the Difficult Guys, and then I realized that not all theorists are guys. And I thought that anything implying guides for difficult women would be infinitely worse. First of all, I just want to clear up that I don't claim to be an expert on any of these subjects that I'm posting now or may post in the future. I've just put in the time to learn about them, and I want to help people out and share it so they don't need to go digging through books like I did. Okay, so Jacques Derrida is basically associated with post-structuralism, which if you're in comm like me, you've probably heard way too many times. And he's more closely associated with deconstruction. I also feel like any sort of introduction to Jacques Derrida has also got to be an apology in both senses of the word. One, because if you go and start trying to read Derrida, you are going to have a heck of a time reading him. Reading Derrida is kind of like reading A Clockwork Orange. If you've ever read A Clockwork Orange, it's like the book is written in some other language, but the more you read it, the more you understand about it. That's kind of what reading Derrida is like. When you read him at first, you're like, I have no idea what you're saying. But then as you pick up on the terms and stuff, you gradually get to understand it. Why an apology in the second sense of the word? Because even though he is one of the most influential academics in the 20th century, many academics absolutely hate him. Why do they hate him so much? Basically, his work amounts to critiquing Western thought since Socrates. So, a lot of the theories that people have basically sort of get, if not wiped away, they get dramatically altered through deconstruction. And a lot of people don't like that. So, boring bit's done. Let's get right into the theory of it. Obviously, a video like this can't cover all of what Derrida says, or even all of what deconstruction says. But I hope that this can give you a bit of an introduction and you can understand it better, and maybe you can sort of judge the ideas based on your own merit instead of what other people tell you to. So, the idea of différance, or that meaning endlessly differs and is deferred. That's difference with an A, that's not even correct in French, it's totally a new word. And what he means by meaning endlessly differing and being deferred, he means that there is nothing unto itself. Describe red. You might describe the qualities of red, like it's bright, it's angry looking, but there's no way actually to describe the color except looking at other colors. Red is not blue, it's not yellow, it's not green, it's not orange, etc. And the only way that we can define any of those things too is by looking at other signs. Color. We need to know what color is. And that goes into other things like sight and light. Everything is in a web of meaning. I do not know how this can be controversial because it just seems to make sense to me. But it is one of the underlying cruxes of his thought. I think where he really starts to get controversial is when he looks at number 2, speech and writing. Now, famously, he said that speech is writing. Now, what he noticed about the Western philosophical tradition was that a whole bunch of philosophers and theorists had said speech is superior to writing because when you're talking, you can actually explain what you mean, and writing, you just sort of need to put it out there and hope that people understand you. Derrida said no, basically with speech you can misinterpret people as well. They can take what you said and go to Johnny down the street and repeat exactly what you said in a different context, and it can come out completely different. Anybody who's had a rumor spread about them, I'm sure, will not find this controversial either. But nonetheless, a lot of academics were very, very upset about this idea that speech was writing, or, to put it more precisely, that there is no way that you can differentiate speech from writing in a way that puts writing on the bottom. And this has to do a lot with number 3, deconstruction. So, as you might have seen from speech and writing operates on a binary. One is one, the other is the other, and one is better than the other. Basically, Derrida with deconstruction said that our whole thought was based around these binaries, black, white, inside, outside, good, evil, and so on. He didn't want to pin things down like this. He thought that there was always something else that you could throw into the equation that would trouble the binary. So you might imagine in between something like life and death, you might put a rock. So a rock isn't living, obviously, but it's not dead either. If a rock was dead, it would presuppose that it was living at some point. Now you might say, like death and living obviously exist, but that's not the point. The point is to show that the opposition of living and dying doesn't govern everything. There's some other state that can be thrown into the equation. And there are different ways that you can deconstruct this. It's not just with a rock. I sort of just imagine that right now. But anyway, the whole point of deconstruction is a resistance to pinning things down, which if you're in comm like me, also, gets into other theories like that, those of Stuart Hall, etc., Raymond Williams. But anyway, I hope that helps you. I hope that you're not totally mystified on anything now. If you want more, you can comment and either ask me more about Derrida, in which I'll do my best among all the homework that I have to respond to you. Or if you'd like to know about another theory or another theorist, you can ask me, and I might put up another video blog for you. In that case, I hope that helps with your work or your exams at some point. I find Derrida is very, very useful to know when you're looking at other theories, because then you can see if their theories rely on binary oppositions, etc., and you can write some pretty good papers based on that. Not to say that my papers are good, or I'll stop talking. So that is the first Humanities study guide. I guess there's nothing really else to say. See ya. UOIT video blog.